They believed they were cutting timber for a home, but every strike echoed across a wilderness ruled by giants.
Long before castles and kingdoms, the forests belonged to predators that hunted without mercy, and patience was their greatest weapon. To humans, this forest was opportunity. To nature, they were only another fragile species trying to survive.
Every great civilization begins with a single decision: to stop running, to stand together, and to build a future worth protecting.
When the storm of survival finally faded, they searched for more than food. They searched for a place to call home. Every leader must choose where hope will stand, because one decision can shape generations. Water, timber, stone, everything they needed was here. Everything except safety. Every civilization begins twice. First in the imagination, and only then upon the earth.
The first wall was never carved from stone. It began with a single tree that dared to fall.
Every strike demanded strength. Every heartbeat carried the weight of survival. Alone they could survive. Together they could build the future.
The greatest battles are often fought without enemies, only determination.
With the fall of a single giant, the foundation of humanity's first village had finally begun. For the first time in human history, the forest was beginning to transform into a home.
Building a village demanded more than strength. It required patience, skill, and trust.
Every great civilization is held together not only by wood and stone, but by the hands willing to build together.
The first walls were not raised by kings. They were carried by families.
Stone by stone, tree by tree, humanity was no longer wandering. It was beginning to belong.
Every civilization begins beneath the ground. Before walls rise, strong foundations must be laid. The first walls were built with strength, but they stood because of unity.
Long before iron and nails, forests themselves became the builders of humanity's future.
For thousands of generations, humanity wandered. Today, they finally began to stay. This was no longer just a campsite. This was the birthplace of the first village.
Every settlement begins with an entrance, a place where strangers become neighbors and families find safety.
The first gate would not simply protect a village. It would welcome the future. Civilization is remembered through its monuments, but it is built by quiet hands performing ordinary work.
For the first time, humans were shaping the land, instead of merely surviving upon it.
The village was rising, but something enormous had already discovered it. This was no wandering herbivore. Something powerful had come dangerously close.
Curiosity could reveal tomorrow's danger, but it could also become today's last mistake.
Not every giant was a monster. Some simply searched for food, unaware that history was unfolding nearby.
While others searched for danger, she quietly built the future worth protecting.
The walls were rising, but so was the danger lurking beyond them.
As the first walls rose, so did the first responsibility. A village could be built in weeks, but protecting it would become the work of generations.
The forest never slept, and neither did the ancient rulers that watched from the shadows.
As the first walls rose, so did the first responsibility. This was only the beginning. The first village had been born, but surviving the prehistoric world would demand...
Morning brought hope. But hope alone could never guarantee survival.
Walls could slow danger. But determination was the strongest defense humanity had ever possessed. The first guardian of the village did not seek glory, only enough warning to keep her family alive.
Not every giant threatened mankind. Some reminded them they were only one small part of nature.
Nature always speaks before danger arrives.
The forest had fallen silent, and silence was the oldest warning nature could give.
Unlike the peaceful giants of the valley, this hunter had come searching for prey.
Sometimes survival demanded courage. Sometimes it demanded absolute stillness. The village had not been built to challenge nature, only to ask for one more chance to survive.
Today the walls were enough. Tomorrow, no one could know.
The predator had gone, but the work of building a future could not wait. Yesterday they built shelter. Today they built security.
A village survives not only because warriors defend it, but because knowledge is passed.
The valley was alive with giants, and somehow humanity had begun to carve out a place among them. They had built the first village, but nature was already preparing the next test.
For the first time in countless generations, humanity possessed something worth defending.
A village without defenders would soon become another forgotten ruin beneath the forest.
Strength wins today. Preparation protects tomorrow.
The river carried life, but it also carried predators older than memory itself.
Their first village was complete, but every sunrise would bring a new chapter in humanity's greatest journey. The first village now stood against a world that had never intended humanity to survive.
Even after the walls were complete, the wilderness still demanded respect.
The valley belonged to countless giants. Humanity had simply learned to live among them. The first village had survived, but something far older, far larger, had finally discovered humanity.
This was only the humanity's greatest journey. Beyond these walls, countless prehistoric mysteries still await.